And let's see here. So just wanted to first, well, happy Tuesday after a long Labor Day weekend. I wanted to thank John and Joe and also Chris Gorman from National Grid for providing a bunch of updated information last week. So you all should have received an email on Friday, just with sort of a tentative look ahead for what we expect to see as far as construction in downtown for the month of September. But that just, again, provides sort of a general overview so people could get a sense of where the construction is moving. But John, since you are here from City Engineering, would love to turn it over to you for any updates on the contracts that you are working on.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
As Marika said, we gave an update last week, somewhat tentative. Paving operations are somewhat tentative right now due to weather. So I'll just give a brief rundown on the two contracts. The first one, which is the BART contract, we're working on Clinton, Warren, Jefferson, and Montgomery. They're going to start milling operations on Clinton. Jefferson, the block between Salina and Clinton, and Warren Street this week. So they're going to mill all those three pavements. The full depth construction is complete. Most of the 88 corners have been either removed or in progress of being reconstructed. So once that surface is milled, they're going to go through and adjust all the structures, and those will be catch basins, manholes, coordinate with the other utility owners to adjust those, and that's where they bring those frames and covers up to the final grade of the new paving. And that's probably going to take 2 to 3 weeks to get all that done. Then once that's done, they'd be in a position to come through and pave it. So you're probably looking towards the end of September, early October before they're going to start paving, top paving those streets. Then completing the other sections of Jefferson and Montgomery, that is still somewhat tentative and dependent on the other utility work, which is City Water Department and National Grid. Again, paving is tentative on weather. Per the spec, the paving season more or less ends at the end of October. Fortunately, due to the weather over the past couple of years, that has been extended into November. But we just need to be cognizant that as the weather does get colder, that does restrict paving. And for the spec, it usually ends at the end of October. So you're going to see a flurry of activity out there to try and get a lot of these streets paved and buttoned up before the season ends. The Salina State Street project. Last week we paved between Adams and Onondaga. That was just binder course. We have to go back through now and adjust all the structures. That's probably going to take a week to maybe 2 weeks. Once that's complete, then we'd be in a position to top pave from Adams to Fayette Street. After that be done, then we'd start the striping a few weeks after that and carry on the striping that has been completed to date, almost up to Adams Street. There still are some other elements to be added to that striping, such as the green methacrylate in the bike lanes. They're not going to be continuously green, just green at certain locations. But that's going to be carried through up into the downtown corridor. Going forward, then we still are pouring bus pads just north of Washington Street. And then we do have some construction to complete around Clinton Square. Clinton Square, we have to move the curb line along the square 2 feet west. So you're going to see some more construction there in Clinton Square. Once that's done, then we'd be in a position to look at milling and paving from Fayette Street north to State Street. Also on State Street, we have to schedule paving from East Genesee to James Street. So there's still a lot of paving to get completed on that project. We're going to be working on 88 corner construction and then waiting for a schedule to get that paving done. But again, they're also in a crunch to get the paving done before the season kicks in, and we're limited to what we can pave. That's the update from engineering. Thank you.
John, would you be able, with the bike lanes, and you had mentioned they'd be that sort of green color, is that right, similar to what we see on Fayette Street for the pavement treatment?
Yes, except it will not be continuous. We're just going to use green near the intersections where areas of conflict are. So for the majority of a bike lane, it'll just be the two white parallel lines. And then where conflict points near intersections, where there's like maybe a turn in for a bus or a bus stop or something, then you'll see the continuous green paint being used. Just to highlight that there's a bike lane there, and for the drivers to be aware to encounter cyclists.
And that will be that would be the entire length of Salina and State.
There's no bike lanes on State Street.
Okay.
Just going to be on Salina Street. Yep. And again, just select areas are going to get the green treatment.
Great. Thank you. Another question, John. So you had mentioned the paving work on Montgomery is dependent upon work by the utility providers. Festa Italiana is coming up that September 17th, 18th, 19th weekend. So it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday with, I imagine, probably late Wednesday or all day Thursday setup. Is that something that's on all of your radars?
Well, I'm Irish, so I'm just taking care of the Irish festival. So no, we're aware of the Italian festival. And we're
Okay.
Yes, we're all aware. Yes, we will not interfere with the Italian festival.
Thank you. Are there any questions for John?
I do have a quick question. I know this is Rachel from Days, John. I asked before about Warren Street and you said it wasn't going to be closed. Is there any way though, just to have your men who are working the paving on Warren Street be aware that our garage does have people coming in and out of it? I know a lot of the times it causes a lot of confusion. So maybe just a heads up could help with that.
Yeah, Rachel, I'll make sure that Barrett's aware of that.
Okay.
I believe the last time they were aware of it, but I'll just double check and make sure that they coordinate accordingly.
Awesome. Thank you.
Again, there probably will be some impacts. They probably won't want vehicles turning over when they're paving, but I'll bring it to their attention, and they'll probably coordinate with you if they need to work on some alternative plan.
Is there a way to give me just a heads up? Because there's quite a bit of cars down there. So if they have to make adjustments for work, I want to make
it'll
sure.
Probably the milling operations, you probably won't be impacted other than if they were milling at that time. Driving on a mill surface isn't a problem. It's probably when they pave through there, you just can't drive on hot asphalt. So I'll make sure they coordinate.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Joe, are you able to give us an update on work in the water department world?
Certainly can. Good morning, everybody. Hope everyone had a good holiday weekend. Water-related work, we should be wrapping up our work on East Jefferson Street between Salina and Warren this week. Pressure testing, chlorination should be completed by Wednesday, Thursday, and getting everything wrapped up and paved on that block by Friday. The contractor is then going to move over to the next block of Jefferson between Warren and Montgomery. At that point, we're going to close down that whole block.
Go ahead and turn the street, dumbass.
We will
But ship a truck.
2 crews working, one from each direction, one heading east, one heading west, to kind of meet in the middle, so they can maximize their production, get done and get out of there as quickly as possible for National Grid to then jump in and take over that block. But that block will be shut down completely. It'll be open to pedestrian traffic on the sidewalks, but that's about it. Once they're done there and then we turn that block over to National Grid, these guys are going to wrap up their work on Montgomery at Erie Boulevard and Water Street, making that final connection there. And our internal team will be working at the intersection of Montgomery and East Adams probably Wednesday evening this week. After hours, like 6 o'clock and later, to make that final connection of Montgomery onto East Adams Street. So we'll have some traffic blocked off, probably for a little bit of time, the westbound lanes will be blocked off. We'll divert them to have at least one westbound and then two eastbound, because right now there's 3 eastbound and 2 west, so we'll push traffic over and smush it a little bit. But it'll be after hours, so I don't think it'll be that bad, and it should be done and back open by morning. And then the remainder of the work is going to be, there's a couple hydrant replacements near the Civic Center. A new service is going in for the one building that's being renovated across from the cathedral. I think it's 215 Jefferson. And then they'll finish the restoration by the end of the month. Any questions?
Sorry, Joe, I had been unsuccessfully multitasking, so missed the first part. You'd mentioned a block being completely shut down. I imagine that's Jefferson Street.
Yes, between
Okay.
Columbus Circle and Warren.
Thank you.
They'll have 2 crews working, so they'll try and get that done as quickly as possible. So we'll have a crew working eastbound and a crew working westbound, and they'll meet in the middle.
Thank you. Any questions for Joe or the water department?
All right, well, if you guys think of anything or anything pops up, please feel free to give me an email or call or whatever, and we'll see what we can do to help you out.
Great, thanks, Joe. Any other questions that people have for any of the departments? We also have the city's business development department here on the Zoom this morning. Okay.
Thanks, America.
Cool.
The only thing I'll add, good morning, everyone, Eric on the business development team. But in addition to the meeting summary that we are looking to type up after each one of these discussions, if we do get additional updates throughout the week, kind of following these meetings, we've been trying to update that in each of the meeting summary notes as well. So I would just call that out too, is that, feel free to look over those notes for any of the latest updates as we receive those between when these meetings take place every 2 weeks. But other than that, that's all for me.
Great, thank you, Eric. Okay, well, thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.